Welcome to the Mobile County Public Schools Athletic Show. My name is Brad Lowell, District Athletic Director for the Mobile County Public Schools. Today we're here with Mary Montgomery High School, Coach Spriggs. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Glad to be here.
Cross country, I know
Yes.
that's your, I know you've been a long-time track coach and really kind of has stepped into the cross country part of things over the past few years. Tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of where you started and how you got to this point.
Sure. I'm originally from Georgia, North Georgia. I came down on a scholarship to University of Mobile, ran cross country and track for 4 years. After that, I got into teaching and coaching. Coached various sports, but I've always wanted my own cross country team, my own track team. And so I got the opportunity once I came to Sims Middle School where I teach. I've been teaching at Sims for the last 15 years. And 2012, I took over the cross country team at Mary Montgomery High School, and I've been very successful. Been to state with the girls and the guys many times. We just have a great program, and over the years, I built it up where now we have about 42 kids on the team, and just really enjoy it and I like seeing the kids have a lot of success at it.
Sure.
And we have had in the past. Last year, I had the runner of the year in Caleb Smith, who earned a scholarship to South Alabama. And I've had many kids over the years earn scholarships, and I think it's a great way to get to college and to continue their running aspect if they want to do it or not.
Well, sounds like, that's definitely your passion, being something that you did in school and in college, and then, of course, now on the coaching side of things. And we were talking about cross country earlier, and it's kind of a fall sport, so it's pretty hot right now.
Oh, sure. In the last 3 weeks, it's been pretty bad. We've been running in weather like 95, 96. I got to make sure my kids are hydrated, of course. And, they can't start the day of. They got to start at least 3 or 4 days before, especially before a meet. I've been taking precautions. We've been running in the woods a lot. We got trails at the school, trying to keep them in the shade, give them water breaks, make sure that, they just keep putting fluids in. I don't want to have to send anybody to the hospital, of course.
Sure.
But my kids seem to adapt very well, just like any athlete, and they take care of themselves, and it really produces good runners in the end. Because I keep telling them, don't worry, cooler weather's coming. You're going to see those times start dropping eventually.
That's right. And I know they all have their goals and what they want to reach, but it is a difficult time when this heat is like it is. And you brought up a good point. The hydration part of things doesn't start the day of a race.
No, it does not.
And I think a lot of younger athletes doesn't understand how important it is to hydrate their bodies leading up to the day of the race.
There's no doubt about that.
And so what usually goes on a cross-country race?
Well, usually it's according if you're running varsity or JV. All varsity races are 5Ks. JV, sometimes they could be 5K, where they may bring them down and just run them 2 miles or a 3K. We run as a team, although you can excel as an individual, but it's a team sport. Your top 5 runners is your scorers, and of course the lowest scores win the meet. And it's very difficult. We're in a very competitive area, especially with Mobile and Baldwin, and then we have other teams that come down. And so it's just very difficult to win a race. And when you win a race, it's very, very, I would say, it's very good for the team because they see the success with all the hard work.
Right.
Like I say, with your Bakers, McGills, Fairhopes, it's very just difficult to win. But, that's what we strive to do.
Right.
Do our best and try to win a meet if we can.
Well, and it's kind of a unique situation too, because it's very similar, I guess, with track in the springtime, where it's an individual sport, but yet it's also a team sport.
Yes.
And so when you have different groups that run different times, do they match up based on what your average time is? Is that how they match runners up?
Yes, that usually. I always tell my kids, I need my last place kid, you need to be just as good as my first place, because we can't win without you. Mm-hmm. Even that 10th place guy on your boys and girls team, it's very important because they could take out somebody else. They could go past another runner on another team and knock them back. So it's all about where you place. It's not basically off time, it's where you place, and the higher up you can place, your scores will be lower in cross. And so, I mean, one year, my very first year at cross-country coach at MGM, my girls' team missed going to state by 1 point.
Oh, wow.
And I believe it was Murphy that knocked us out. But the score, I think we had like 100, and Murphy had 99. And so because of that, so that one place, even though it could be your 10th place runner, they could be in front of their 7th place runner. And that just made, if it's all tied up, could knock them back. So that's why I try to encourage my kids. I need no matter what times you run, or whatever, last place runner needs to be just as strong as my first place, because it takes a team to achieve your goals that you want to get to. And our goal every year is to try to make it the state. Of course, that's every team across the state. That's where they want to be at.
And I know that's highly competitive, even in the northern part of state.
Very competitive.
So you're looking at cross country is just a very, very competitive sport.
Yes, it has. It's really grown. When I first came to the University of Mobile, I kept up with it even when I was in college. And I saw the ramifications of what's going on in Mobile, and started keeping up with it. And even when I first went to Sims, although I didn't coach, I was coaching football at the time. Coach Charlie Crabtree was the head cross-country coach at MGM. And I became friends with him, and I was talking to him about cross and all that. And I just told him, I said, I'm going to start recruiting at the middle school for you, so we can get some runners over here. And so I just started talking to kids up about running, and I sent some over there. And that's just when it really just took off, especially at Mary G. And from then on, I just tried to keep it going. And also being the girls track coach and PE teacher at Sims Middle School, that kind of helps. I can talk about it all the time and get them interested in running, because if you can get them at the very young age, of course, like in any sport, they can carry them through.
That's right. Well, Coach, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
We got to go to break, but good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll be back.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
So, Nicholas, how was your day at school today?
It was great. We had fun in class today.
So, what did you do differently today at school? I mean, any new projects?
We got a progress report today.
You got your progress reports today? So, how did you do?
Don't know.
You don't know. That's okay. We can check that right here. Wow. Nicholas.
Do you have what it takes to be an Envision graduate? We are pioneering students to be all they can be, from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade.
I definitely would recommend Envision to other students who feel the way I feel. They really work with you, and they've gotten tutors, and you have online teachers to talk to.
It starts right here. It starts right now. Envision Virtual Academy. Enroll today.
All right, welcome back to our show. We're here with Coach McCain, head football coach at MGM. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Well, I know you've been involved in coaching football for many years. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you kind of started and how you ended up at Mary Montgomery?
Well, I've been in Mississippi for about 25, 26 years and retired over there. And about 3 years ago, got a job there at Mary Montgomery, and been the head coach for the last 2 years.
So how different has it been from Mississippi ball to Alabama ball?
Well, I think that the competition is very similar.
Yeah.
It's the level I was at in Mississippi was a smaller school level in 4A, whereas you could see good teams from time to time, but now you see them just every week now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, being at Mary Montgomery, of course, you're in Region 1, which is a 9-team region, 7A region, so you don't have really a lot of choices on who you get to pick to play. Each year you only get 2 non-region games.
That's right.
And I know you guys have already played 4 games this year. Tell us a little bit about the season so far and kind of what's transpired and what you're kind of going into through midpoint.
Yeah, going along with that, what you said, we've been talking, we try to tell our kids, when I was in Mississippi, our region schedule was on the back end, and our last 5, 6 games were region games. So we had 5 or 6 games right there at the front to get everything right. Well, you don't have that option here. So, you get one game to start with, and then you're right in the fire. And we're still, trying to figure things out. We're 2-2 right now. Have played well in the 2 games we've won, and have kind of self-destructed a little bit in the other 2 games. In the games, competing hard. Just 1 play or 2 away from really taking control. Just hadn't seemed to be able to do that yet.
Well, you brought up a good point. I know when you're there and trying to build the program that you're building, one of the things that you have to focus on is yourself. I think a lot of coaches a lot of times get so caught up in what other people do and not necessarily what you do.
That's right.
And what you're doing.
That's right.
When we were talking in general, some of the better teams out there, not necessarily the most talented.
That's right.
But they don't make mistakes.
That's it.
I'm sure that's kind of what you preach during practice with your kids, and
you have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. And right now, our football team, we're kind of beating ourselves a little bit. And when we figure that out, then we're going to be a lot better.
I know, having the 3 phases of the game and just being strong in all 3 phases without penalties or turnovers or anything like that. I mean, that's pretty much the name of the game.
It is.
Nothing flashy. Just don't make mistakes.
That's it, and we always preaching to our guys, the biggest, the difference in the games, the biggest difference is turnovers, and explosive plays. I mean, and when you don't have that going your way, you're not going to be very successful.
That's right. And we were talking too, and you're building a team concept in an area of social media where it promotes a lot of individuals.
Yes.
That's very different in our time of coaching, where the team concept has always been the concept as a coach, but now in a world where you do fight the social media platform of a lot of individualistic things out there to still maintain that team concept. How hard is that? Oh,
it's real hard. Back when I played in the 70s, and I'm sure that you wasn't too far behind me there, we didn't have a term called social media. We didn't know anything about anything. It was, if somebody thought you were a good football player, they'd come see you. A college would come see you, But now kids are promoting themselves now, and that kind of gets away from the team concept because, they are told, yes, you need to promote yourself. Well, yeah, okay, but where does the team fit in there?
Right, right. And it does. I mean, it really promotes a challenge on to me, the focus level of still remaining focused of the priorities of what really is going to make the team the best it can be.
That's right.
So tell us kind of a little bit about your team. Are you a young team, older team this year?
Well, when I got there 3 years ago, we were really young. Played a lot of sophomores just because we had to. Not necessarily because they were the best, but that's all we had. Now they're seniors. They've got some maturity about them. They're playing. We've got about 34, 35 seniors, and they're playing a lot better than they were as sophomores, of course. But our juniors are coming along. We play very little sophomores right now. They're playing a lot of JV, but we're mostly a senior, junior dominated team right now, and still just trying to learn how to win.
Yeah. And I know you guys just had a big region battle this past week with Murphy. It was right there at the end, but as you mentioned, felt like still kind of beat yourself up a little bit right there instead of, you know, instead of not making those mistakes, you felt like maybe that would have put you over the hump against them.
Yeah, both teams made mistakes, and they had some turnovers, and we had some turnovers. They just had a few more explosive plays than we had. Offensively, they're so hard to contain, and we had a few busts defensively the other night. But I felt like that you know, regardless of what the disparity of yardage and explosive plays were, you're there 23-21 with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the ball game. You got a chance, and you know, we got to where we just to their credit, they stopped us there in the last few minutes of the ball game and took control of it. But you know, we still.
But you got to be proud of how they're battling.
I'm telling you, it's and I told the guys I was really proud of the effort, simply because of several reasons. But the main thing is we had homecoming, and that is a distraction week. I mean, it is full of distractions, and last year we didn't handle it well. I thought we handled it real well this year.
And didn't you get down right off the bat?
And then we get down 16-0 right off the bat and come back and make a game of it. So, you know, our guys are competing. We got to get off to better starts. We've got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot with mistakes. And, you know, we seem to do really well when we're ahead. But, you know, like I've told them, I hope we get behind and win a game coming from behind, because that's when you know what kind of character your team's got.
That's right.
And I saw that a little bit the other night, that we've got some guys that have stepped up and trying to get this thing going in the right direction, and I think we do. But we need to win a big game against somebody that we hadn't beaten in a while.
Sure.
And we need to come from behind and do that. You know,
that signature win, I guess, is what what you're saying, and I understand that completely. And that's the confidence of that, I think, you know, is really important too.
Ain't no doubt.
It's been really hot. How have you guys managed the heat? You know.
Well, I tell you what, our trainer Alex White does an incredible job of keeping our guys, when we're out there practicing, hydrated. You know, I always tell our guys, look, if you need water, we'll stop whatever you do and we get water. Okay, we need to keep. I mean, the coaches like me, I need it too. So
sure,
you know, it's a thing to where we have no shade, so nowhere we can get in the shade around there. So we have to just kind of take a lot of breaks and get them some water and get them hydrated.
And I figure too, you know, I believe that it probably, this heat could dictate some results of some games if you're not properly managed.
You know, and we had a kid the other night that went down with cramps. He's one of our kids that's playing just about all the special teams and is a corner on defense, and he's locked down guy, so that means he's running every play, and he runs in practice every day. And still, if you don't get it in you 2 or 3 days ahead of time, it's you're gonna have that problem.
That's right. Well, Coach, we got to go to break. I appreciate you being on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
And good luck rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after the break.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
All right, welcome back to our show. We're here with Coach Shoquist, the volleyball coach. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate you being here. Coach, I know you've been around volleyball for a long time and seen, been at some successful programs in the past. I know you were at St. Paul's and then Murphy and now NGM. Hall of Fame coach. I always have to bring that up because that needs to be recognized. Not many people can say that they've been inducted to the AHSA Hall of Fame.
I appreciate that.
Always an honor for that and well deserved. So tell us a little bit about the Mary Montgomery State of Volleyball and your girls and kind of what y'all are doing this year.
Well, it's very exciting. We have a wonderful squad. I have 6 seniors this year and 7 juniors. I did pull up a couple of freshmen who were working out with us and doing extremely well. So we have a great future. Our JV team is really packed with a lot of good athletes and real good volleyball players. But we're doing real well. We're 14-4 right now, and we're in area play. We're 2-0 in area, and we have Baker tomorrow and Bryant on Thursday. So we're excited to get into our area play and get that going.
Yeah, and I think I know you guys had a good start to the year by going 14-4, kind of getting into some area matches now, and I know Baker's always a highly competitive match, and you can kind of, whenever you guys play each other, y'all can kind of see where you stand at that point.
Exactly.
How are they this year? Still a very strong team?
They are, and I've seen them on film, but I haven't actually seen them in person. But I think they're kind of catching up, and didn't have things quite going at the beginning of the year. And from what I hear, they're kind of getting it all together, and which would be about right when our rivals are ready for us. So we're excited and working real hard to try to counter that attack. So we've lost to them the last couple of years, so my girls are hungry to get in there and play their best.
Well, and I know those are a lot of the girls over the past few years, the girls that play at Sims Middle School and the girls that play at Causey Middle School. They have both had very good programs over the past 4, 5, 6 years. So all these girls are now coming into high school and playing, and I know it's a highly competitive game.
It is. But the funny thing about volleyball is because of the club system now, a lot of those kids play together on the same team. So they're all good friends as well, and that always makes it kind of fun, because there is that friendly competition. But when you get on the court for these kind of matches, it's all business, but they're friends still.
Yeah, absolutely. And club is growing in all sports. And I know it's a big thing down here with the volleyball, just like in soccer and other sports that are catching on. Do you encourage your kids to play?
It's not so much that I encourage them. I mean, I would love for them to play. Of course, if they play other sports, it gets to be complicated. But yeah, I mean, it's only going to be an advantage to them. The biggest part about club now is they get recruited out of club for scholarships. So yeah, you have to encourage them to play if they want to go on and play in college. It used to be the high school seasons and the high school coaches. We were their recruiting tool. Exactly. And now, because colleges are in season during our season, they really look at them during club season more. So yeah, if they want to play, they need to play club.
Yeah, and that seems to be, like we were talking about earlier, trickling down with other sports too, because I know soccer was the same way. It used to be, school was kind of the main, now it's both. School and club has become premier venues where coaches can come and do some recruiting.
Yeah.
But I think you hit a good point there, because you're in seasons the same time as they're in season. A lot of times they can go out more during the club time. So how does, how are y'all kind of fitting into the end of the year? I know you got some big matches this week.
Yeah.
And then you get to the area tournament, right?
Right.
So we're seeding up for that,
Right.
and that would be determined on, it's usually the 1 seed will host.
Correct.
And what do they take, the top 2?
They take the top 2, and then we go to super regionals, and up in Montgomery is where we play that, and then they take the top 4 in 7A to the state tournament. We only, in super regionals, you have to win your first match to qualify for state. In the lower classifications, they have to win their first 2 in order, because there's twice as many of them. But,
right.
Yeah, it gets here fast. I mean, we're almost mid-season, or we are mid-season just about. And so we play in a couple of big tournaments coming up to get us ready for the area tournament. And so we're, practicing and working hard for that. And my kids have just bought into it. I mean, I've been so lucky at Mary Montgomery to have incredible kids.
Yeah.
Not only just athletes, but just, just really, really close-knit kids who love each other and want to work together. And really, I've got 5 varsity softball players, so it's been kind of fun watching them grow as softball players as well. So.
I love to hear the girls that really play at a high level, multiple sports.
Right, right.
I think I'm a huge supporter of kids playing multiple sports in the school.
Yeah.
Sharing athletes is big.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, become a better all-around athlete.
Well, you need that rest as well. When you play volleyball, and some of these kids play volleyball only, and so they're playing their club seasons, and they don't get any time off. So they need time off for their bodies to heal up, and cross-training with different sports is always really good for those kids.
Absolutely, and working different skill sets.
Right. Exactly.
And they're not burning out a certain movement of
Right.
what they do. And I think that's really, really big too. Well, with the girls and as a coach, it's got to make life enjoyable when you got good kids like that really, have a team vision that they do, and really want to compete and practice and all that.
Oh yeah, they've bought into it. In fact, we go off campus in a hot gym. We've been in a hot gym all summer, high velocity, working out and training. My varsity has. So I mean, they are so dedicated to it, and that's tough when you go in there and you work after you've practiced for 2 hours and then go work out there. But they've bought into that, and they're getting stronger, and they're just. I've been very blessed at all 3 schools I've coached at with my athletes and parents. Really lucky with that. So.
Well, I know you've done really well, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Good luck as always.
Thank you.
And appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate you asking.
All right, this concludes our show, and we'll be back next week.